Have you ever wondered why certain companies thrive and somehow overnight just catapult off to success, while others seem to just constantly be struggling and making just enough money to survive? Throughout these years of kind of doing my own thing and working as a consultant and being a solopreneur, I've started to notice some patterns, and I have a really quick list of 11 things I want to share with you that I find every company or brand needs in order to really survive and thrive. These also sort of relate to some of the biggest mistakes that I find brands and companies and individuals making. And this isn't an exhaustive list, but it's definitely one that I found. These are the top things and something you really need to be aware of if you're in business at all. So I'm going to run through this really quick. It's 11 things, but below this video, you'll either see the text or you'll have a link to the text version of this. So you can either take notes or just take a look at that. But I want to fly through these really quickly. The first thing that is extremely important is social proof and credibility. So what is social proof? Social proof is knowing that this person or this brand has a sort of level of high credibility within the marketplace. Social proof also relates to that person is associated with these other brands and other businesses. So a way for you to get social proof or credibility will be to literally go out and create strategic partnerships with other companies and associate yourself with these other companies. Because if I see that you are a friend or a colleague of Mark Cuban and you guys show up in the same YouTube video together, immediately, psychologically, to me, that equals you're also an influencer. And this leads to a great book recommendation, actually, Influence by Robert Cialdini. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. He's a brilliant social scientist, psychologist based out of, I believe it's Arizona. And this book, Influence, is pivotal for marketing and influence. The second thing that you need is beautiful design. And I mean that across your brand overall. One of my friends, Lewis Howes, I believe that this is actually one of the things that really launched him into success. He was doing all the right things, but by having really high-end, beautiful design, that's the first experience people have of you, of your product, your software, your service. And there's another sort of subconscious trigger that goes off in people's minds. And this again relates to the book Influence, but really that design is pivotal. Another friend of mine who really believes this is Carter Thomas of Blue Cloud Solutions. One of the things he's told me that I personally need to do is go get really high-end professional photography done. And he believes that every brand needs this. Anyone who's in content marketing or really putting themselves out there online, they need to have really beautiful photos and videos and beautiful design. Number 3, you need a place to engage with people. The mistake that people make is they try to do this across too many spectrums and too many places. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all the social media channels, building an email list, a forum on your website. You don't need all those things. You really only need one, and it's ideal that instead of your conversations being siloed in pockets where you're having a one-off conversation with people, if you can, find a way to bring everybody together. This can also be done offline for offline businesses. So if you have an offline business, find a way to bring people together every so often so that you can have a conversation with them, but they can have a conversation with each other. That's what I mean by siloed. It's not just some one-way information conversation streak. Make people come together. All right, number 4. I may lose track of the numbers here, but you need crystal clear brand messaging. You need to be able to explain why you do what you do and what you do to them very, very clearly. So why I do what I do, I believe that I am a teacher that is here to inspire people to live more fulfilled lives. I don't know where that's going to lead throughout my entire life, but I know that that's my mission. What I do is help people identify their life's professional craft and create a life as a solopreneur. You have to be able to say that in one sentence right away to people, why you do what you do and what you do for them. And it's important that it's clear, because if it's not clear, people are going to be confused, they're not going to know what you do, they're not going to know how to tell their friends, it's all going to fall apart. Next one, I'm not even going to try the numbers. You need a transparent and authentic story about your personal life or the company's culture to share with people. People are attracted to authenticity. There is so much bullshit out there and so many people taking one little success story and making that their whole story without really sharing what was that struggle like? What was the path to the success? Who are you really? If I had a beer with you, if you drink, or if we went out and got a coffee or a tea or whatever together, what kind of person am I going to see behind the veil? If you're a large company, What is the culture of that company all about? Some great examples are Zappos. If you look at the social media company Buffer, they do an incredible job of sharing their company culture. They publish their salaries for all their employees. They talk about their mission and why they do what they do. You have to find good examples of this and emulate them authentically in your own way. Go look at my about page, armanasadi.com/about. It's actually old, I need to update it, but it's still a very authentic, real example of who I am, and it's quite detailed, and people really feel connected with me after they read that. The next thing you need is laser focus, and that means you need to be able to get one thing done at a time and understand that at times it's very important to only focus on that one thing in order to accomplish that one thing, in order to accomplish your entire mission. You know, in the book, The One Thing, he talks about, Gary Keller, I believe is the author, he talks about the big domino at the front. You have your purpose, you have your mission, you know where you're going, and you have all these things that you want to be doing. But what's that one big domino that if it was accomplished would allow all the other pieces to fall over? If you can do that one thing and focus on it, and it's painful sometimes to cut everything else out, you know that, let's say, the one thing you really need to be doing is writing one blog post a week. But yet you're distracted by, should I grow my Snapchat? Should I take up more consulting? Should we hire more employees? Those are the distractions. If you focus on one thing, the rest of them fall over. If you do that successfully, you know that it becomes easier to hire people and to move on to the next task in the list. All right, we're flying through like I told you. So the next thing you need is a clear plan and strategy for profit. I find, and I made this mistake early on as well, that we tend to place the numbers game to the side. We're focused on the wrong things, and all we need to do here is lay out a financial plan for ourselves. How am I going to get to profit, and how am I going to really create cash flow in my business? Too many businesses are focused on, I'm going to create the best product or service, and they're not thinking about cash flow, especially in Silicon Valley. This is a huge thing. The next thing is to pay yourself first. So what do I mean by that? I mean that you need to invest in yourself. If you keep the money in your business, if you create profit and it comes down to the bottom line of your business and you leave it there, you're always going to find ways to spend that money. That money is going to get reinvested, and that is smart. You do want to take your profits and invest them back into your business, but it's incredibly important to also invest in yourself. So pay yourself first. This is something many, you find this often in those Entrepreneur and Huffington Post articles from billionaires. They talk about the importance of paying themselves first, investing in their future, and then taking the remaining and investing it back into the business. Number 9. You need a single KPI for the year. This is a measurement, right? This is something that you can measure, because what you measure can grow. And if you're not measuring something, then you're kind of scattered. This goes back again to laser focus on the one thing. If you measure this one thing, and let's say my friend John Corcoran has his example of his one KPI that he measures is growing his email list. If you look at the company app SumoMe, their one KPI that they're focused on is getting the SumoMe product installed on 1 billion websites. I believe that's the number. So every day, every month, they're just backing into this one single KPI. All their efforts are focused on that one thing of just getting SumoMe installed on more websites. That's how they measure their success. Number 10, you need to iterate and adapt at laser speed. You need one outcome, and the strategies constantly change and they can be optimized, but it's incredibly important that you move quickly. And iteration is, another one of those Silicon Valley tech sort of tech lingo, but it simply means that you know your outcome, you know where you're going, but don't be stuck on how you do it. Be willing to iterate, be willing to move and jump and change positions to still get to your one ultimate outcome. So don't get stuck on how you do it, but be stuck on where you're going. And finally, number 11, you need raving fans, ideally 1,000 of them. There's a great article that you should Google, and I'll link to below. It's called 1,000 True Fans by Kevin Kelly. Tim Ferriss calls this the only marketing article that you need to read. And I agree, it's a fantastic article. And I've met Kevin Kelly and we discussed this article. And he's a brilliant man, and there's a reason why this article is such a hit. If you grow your business to just 1,000 true fans, you never need to worry about anything else in your life. So that is it. Those are the 11 things. Wish I had 11 fingers for you. take these very seriously. I have seen these things across many different businesses, across all types of industries, all niches, and I really believe that if we can master these 11 things and really focus on them, it will allow our brands and our companies to thrive. So take that, enjoy the notes below, and please let me know if you have any questions. As always, thank you so much. See you in the next video.